Good evening, all Which Bookie followers, and welcome back to another Ante-Post selection for the 2022 Cheltenham Festival. First and foremost, hope you've all had a lovely Christmas period and hopefully a good festive season from a punting perspective as well. Obviously, at Leopardstown and Limerick, I covered plenty of racing over the last number of days and managed to get out with my head above water, which is always a pleasant feeling around the Christmas period because sometimes the racing can be a little bit tricky. But because of all that good racing and all the festivities and all the stuff to digest and the big races to get through, I think an awful lot of those Cheltenham Festival markets are beginning to take full shape, and as a result you can start really looking at these very closely from an Ante-Post point of view. Looking back at the selection so far for the Cheltenham 2022 Festival, there's a couple in there that unfortunately have gone by the wayside, the likes of Latest Exhibition, unfortunately. Mrs Milner looks unlikely, but alongside that, we've a few that look pretty lively, the likes of Brandy Love and even Bardenstown Lad for the Albert Bartlett. We move on to the Gold Cup for this video, and I think the Gold Cup, looking back at the King George and the Savills Chase, has actually got a lot more questions than answers, and it was probably two races that we were hoping were going to provide answers for us to look forward to the Gold Cup, but instead we're all there a little bit shaking our head and scratching our head thinking what is going to happen. Galvin, a very good winner of the Savills Chase, but is he going to be able to step up and win a Gold Cup? King George went to Tornado Flyer. You'd think he's going to have a bit of a struggle to stay in a Gold Cup. So as a result, the market is a little bit up in the air, and I'm going to play two in this race that I think are just too big a price at the moment, and I don't think you're potentially going to get too much bigger than these two horses at any stage during the season. And one of them, well actually both of them, involve a bit of risk, as is always the case with Ante-Post betting, and one of them is Minella Indo himself, who's out to 10 to 1, and I think 10 to 1 is just too big a price. Unfortunately, a listless run in the King George from the Henry de Bromhead runner, but Henrys have all run fairly averagely this week, to be honest. I think you can mark up the ones that have ran well, the likes of A Plutar, maybe even A Journey with Me, but Minella Indo just never really went a yard, and I think you can just put a line through that performance and hope that he comes out the better of it. The only risk with Minella Indo, I think, is more so that Henry de Bromhead's come out saying he was shook when he came home, and as a result, are we going to get that kind of potential chance that this horse might be out for the season, or he's picked up a knock over in Kempton? Fingers crossed he hasn't, because if he hasn't, I wouldn't really look into it too much, because he had a fair few average enough runs before winning the Gold Cup last year. He's obviously a very unlucky second in the RSA in 2020, and he won the Albert Bartlett in 2019. He's a springtime horse, and I think 10 to 1 is as big a price as you're going to get about the horse. And really, if it all seems to be cottoning on that he's going to get to Cheltenham again, he will contract and contract. And the other one, I didn't think I'd be around to doing this again for the Gold Cup, but I just think the solid option in this race potentially might be a horse that's already been there and done that. And I know he doesn't have that much room for improvement, but based on the fact that Album Photo is running at Tramore in a couple of days' time when I'm recording this video at the moment, and he's more than likely going to win. Now, obviously, you're taking a chance that the horse is getting on, and maybe the engine isn't quite there anymore. And if he was to lose at Tramore or get beaten up pretty badly, it might be the end of the horse as a whole, or certainly the end of his chances in a Gold Cup, that's for sure. But that being said, there's nothing to suggest that that's the case, considering he was third in the race last year, when Willie Mullins pretty much came out and said he was a little bit undercooked in the end, and then ran a stormer at Punchestown behind Clan des Obeaux, only to be beaten a half length. With those performances in mind, with the way that the Gold Cup is looking a little bit shaky at the moment, he might be a solid play, and I just can't think that I think if he wins at Tramore in a couple of days' time, people are going to cotton on to this, and he may well be a single figure price. He's as big as 16 to 1 with William Hill and Unibet, and I think that's too big a price, and I think I'm going to take the chance he wins at Tramore like he has done the last couple of years, and potentially halves in price for the Cheltenham Gold Cup, and fingers crossed can roll back the years and potentially claim his third crown. So Minella Indo at 10 to 1 for the back-to-back win, and Album Photo at 16 to 1 to roll back the years in this year's Cheltenham Gold Cup, the 2022 edition. Hope you guys enjoy this video, and until next time, where there'll be plenty more Ante-Post selections both for during the year and for the March Festival. Stay safe, stay well, land a few bets, and I'll see you all very soon. Cheers.